Hi, my name is Charlie Austinson. I do probate law here at Smith, Jayden Johnson, and I'm here to talk to you about affidavits of collection of personal property. Oftentimes when people die, the first thing that the client talks about is, do they have to go through the probate process? And there is a mechanism by which you can avoid probate, assuming the estate is worth less than $75,000. And the way you do that is through an affidavit of collection of personal property. So consider a small estate. You have, grandma dies and she has maybe, she's living in an apartment, and she has, $10,000 in a checking account and just her personal effects. Even if she had a will, there's no reason necessarily to go through the probate process to collect that $10,000. You can sign an affidavit if you are next of kin meaning bloodline relative. You can sign an affidavit that says, I'm next of kin and nobody has filed a probate on this matter, and I'm entitled to those assets. And so it's a very slick process to avoid the probate proceedings when you have a small estate. The affidavit itself, you got to make sure that you have a few things in order before you file that affidavit. Number one, you got to make sure the estate is worth less than $75,000. And that's the probate estate. So you could have large sums of money in beneficiary accounts, 401ks, insurance benefits, etc., that rise well above that $75,000 limit. But that's okay because those are not probate assets. The probate assets would be accounts without beneficiaries, like a checking account, or real estate, or cars and paintings and personal effects and things like that. So typically this involves a situation where there's no real estate. So if you've got a situation where you have an estate that's worth less than $75,000, make sure that, number one, it's worth less than $75,000. Number two, you have to be an heir. And number three, you got to do a couple of procedural moves. You have to look and check and see if anybody has filed a probate on your loved one. As long as no one has, then you're good to go. Finally, you got to do all of this within after 30 days of the person's death. You can't do it immediately. You've got to wait primarily to see if people have filed that notice of probate. So if you have a small estate, it's a very slick way to wrap up that process. And we're happy to help you out here at Smith, Jayden Johnson to draft those affidavits, make those checks with the court to see if anyone's filed a probate, and help you out. Thanks.